everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I have my October book haul. Thought I was going to put my book haul and wrap up together like I used to do in the past because I didn't have very many things to haul, but I actually had way more things read than I thought. Like last time I did this video, so the actual wrap-up stuff, I had like 24 things to talk about, which was way more than I thought. I do have 9 books to talk about today, but I don't have very many physical books. So we are going to run through those, but that was part of the reason I thought I was going to be able to combine the video ideas, so we'll see how long this one actually goes for. But like I said, I do have 9 books to talk about. We have 3 things that are physical and 6 things that are ebooks, so let's jump into it. The first 2 things that I have here are Dragon Age comics. I did a Dragon Age reading vlog leading into Dragon Age the Veilguard at the very end of October, and the only 2 comics that I needed that I did not own were Dragon Age Dark Fortress by Nunzio de Philippis, which closed out like a longer sort of story arc, as well as Dragon Age The Missing by George Mann. This is a comic leading directly into the Veilguard. Like, it talks about a couple of the different factions, and it has like Varric and Harding trying to find Solas leading into the Veilguard. So I bought these for that vlog and also to own because I have every other one possible. So those were 2 physical books that I bought near the very end of October. And then actually what came in on Halloween was the Evernight box, and I have not even opened it yet. So we're gonna open this on camera. I do not remember what the book is. However, I do spoil myself before I get these because I only want books that I am interested in. So let's actually see what we have here. Here is the card. Oh, okay, I remember now because I saw the title on the back. I remember because I also remember seeing people be like, really? We're getting this in an Evernight box? I wouldn't have said that was necessarily horror. A lot of people are saying this is maybe more dark academia type of stuff. I was curious about this. I've never read anything by this author, but it was already like sort of on my radar, so that was the reason why I got it. It is An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. This is the same author as like The Year of the Witching, which I do have on ebook and I just have not read. And I guess I understand, like, yeah, this does, based on like the summary that I've heard in the past. I might have to refresh myself on that summary before I tell you about it, but from what I understand, it is supposed to be more maybe like fantasy, dark academia. So the fact that this is in an Evernight box, which is supposed to be more horror, and I know we've had some like actual horror entries in the past, I'm not mad at it, but I understand why people would be like, this maybe is more dark fantasy, not necessarily horror. Why is it in this sub versus like an Illumicrate sub? I don't know, but here's our cover. It's very different from what the original one is. I do appreciate the like very green tones, and it's very intriguing because it has this like split in the middle where we have like, I guess the green is more like the normal house, and then we have underneath, and it's all sort of worn down and stuff, which is, you know, very intriguing for the book. Our edges are the same. Gonna be the same sort of stuff with one house on one side, one house on the other. The back has a quote here. It says, "One of the Lenins in the mirror didn't strike its cheek. It didn't move at all, really, except to smile." That is a little bit creepy, so that is good. Let's see, underneath the dust jacket, we have this. Doors, but like elevator doors? That's what it feels like to me. Okay. And then they're sort of open with like a smoky vibe on the back. This does have a slightly sinister feel, especially with that quote. So I'm very much liking that. We do also have the end papers. Okay, I mean, look at the mirror there. Okay, I definitely am feeling like there could definitely be horror vibes in here, even if it is maybe more of a like dark academia, dark fantasy sort of thing. Okay, here's the other. We have this person sort of off page with like claws and stuff. yeah, I'm gonna have to refresh my memory on what this is actually like supposed to be about. It looks like we have a digital signature here on this page. It says signed by the author, but based on the way it looks, I'm assuming digital signature. Oh, and there's our like moth from like the original cover. Okay, yeah, let me take a look. Okay, so yeah, based on the summary, it definitely feels more dark academia, maybe fantasy type of vibes, because our main character is Lennon, and she gets a mysterious phone call to sit an entrance exam to this like college that she has never really heard of, because it's a school of magic. She does have an ability to use persuasion, so I'm assuming that is some sort of innate magic that she has. She can persuade people. She has to pass an entrance exam, which apparently she does, and then she seems to think that there might be something more sinister going on at the school. So in general, it does seem like, at least from the summary vibes, more dark academia fantasy. The vibes of the actual like cover and stuff, I do feel the potential for horror stuff. So again, I'm not upset that they put this in the Evernight sub. I mean, obviously I got it. It's something that I wanted to read. I didn't want to skip it or anything, because I have been very good at using my skips this year for things that I'm just like not interested in. But what do you think? Is Evernight a horror box? Should it actually be more horror? Okay, well those were all of the physical books though, so we are going to jump into the 6 ebooks that I have as well. This was not exactly like an official Stuff Your Kindle, just because Stuff Your Kindle was originally from like Romance Bookworms, and this is not from them, but it was basically a Stuff Your Kindle type event. I want to say fantasy romance, or just fantasy with, you know, there's some books that have romance in them, was the type, and I picked up 6 books. The first one I have here is Dealer's Will by Liz Kane. This is a prequel to the Dealer's Choice series, and it starts off with, would you sell your soul to save someone you love? I did, and it was a mistake. So it is going to be an urban fantasy series. This is the prequel. I think book 1 also had the potential to either be on sale or free at this time as well. But I've heard you should potentially go in with the prequel, so that is what I picked up. We also have Baked and Brewed by Anne Willoughby. This one looks like a cozy type of fantasy potentially, because it is going to be a quirky professor and a magical cafe owner together. There's magic, best friends, and a pixie with attitude with a little bit of spice, which sounds intriguing. But yeah, it's sort of like a coffee shop sort of fantasy story, maybe urban fantasy as well. And this one just sort of sounded cute based on that. It's a woman who wasn't looking for romance, ends up finding a witch who might help solve her problems. Yeah. The next one I picked up is Summer Night's Dream by Ariadne Braillard. This one is the first book in a series. It looks like it is going to be Wide Shoes romance. And it has a woman who is going to be like the new queen sort of thing, but she has been hiding her identity, and is supposed to get like 1 match per seasonal court. So there's like Summer Night's Dream is this one. I think there's like an autumn or spring or something like that as well. And it looks like we're gonna have some potential like heartbreak and stuff at the beginning, because it says that her first mate broke her heart, and now how is she supposed to move forward? I just thought it sounded very intriguing. It has really good ratings and reviews and stuff, so we're gonna try this one out. The next one I picked up is Welcome to Halfling House by Victoria Vasallo. This one, I think the babies on the cover got me. This one says, what do you get when you have a renegade Greek goddess, a fiery witch, a toddler dragon, a fae child, and a temperamental teenage bogeyman in one house? I think this one's more of like a foster home type of situation, where this woman is taking in all these different halfling babies, so like they're not just a werewolf, like somehow, some way, maybe they're abandoned or orphaned or something, and she takes them in. I do believe this is also supposed to have romance in it. It says this series is perfect for anyone who enjoys heartfelt and hilarious stories about found family, protective mama bears, diverse magic and creatures, slow burn, faded black romance, and LGBTQIA+ representation. All of those are things that I definitely want, or like I'm okay with. When I say that, I do mean I love slow burn. I don't mind fade to black or explicit. It just really depends on the actual vibe of everything. But it sounded really cute, so. Then I also picked up Don't Date the Haunted by C. Ray Diarc. This one I've seen on a few different Stuff Your Kindle lists, which is fine. I don't mind an author putting like the same book on a couple different lists if it fits the categories. I have not picked it up in the past, but I've been intrigued by it a couple times, so I finally bit the bullet and was like, you know what, this sounds intriguing. We're gonna pick it up and see. So this is like based on genre tropes, it seems like, but like in an interesting fantasy way. So basically we have a character named Pansy who is a citizen of horror. So she's survived hauntings and mad killers and poltergeists, but then after it looks like the death of her fiance, she flees from there and goes to the romance world. I don't know if it's just like a different country, whatever it is, and then there's different things going on with that one. So it looks like she's having like culture shock from going there because she's used to all the horror tropes, and now she's basically in a romance. I liked the idea of playing with that. I know later books in the series I think have different genres and stuff. Like book 2 is called like Don't Marry the Cursed. Number 3 is Don't Dance with Death. I don't know, something about that really intrigued me. And so I finally picked it up. And then there's only one more book left that I picked up this time. It's The Weaver by Heather Kint. This is another one that has a storytelling sort of spin on it. It says most writers choose the endings to their stories. Most writers are not weavers. And apparently it's going to follow the main character of Lainey, who sort of ends up in a more paranormal type of story because she's a writer, but then she ends up meeting her main character. It is going to be a new adult paranormal romance set in a small town, and I don't know, there's something about that just seems intriguing. It looks like it's not even just like she meets a character from her book, but like he comes to her because somehow the antagonist of the story has a different ending from the one she intended, and so it's like she's weaving the story but is not in charge of it necessarily. Like, I'm very, very intrigued. So yeah, that's what happened. I got 3 physical books, obviously the Dragon Age things that I bought for a reading vlog I already read, and then we have the Evernight, and then 6 free Kindle books that I definitely want to try out. They're all indie, obviously, which I like the Stuff Your Kindle things for, because it gets you to either hear about or try other authors that you might not have done before. And so yeah, I know that still seems like quite a bit, but in general, for me, at a whole, not bad at all. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out Tuesdays and Thursdays right now because I'm also playing video games. So I will see you then. Bye!